Okay, let me start this. Okay, shalom, shalom, shalom. Okay, I'm glad to be sharing another Sabbath with you today. It's always good when the Sabbath comes around. We are commanded through the Lord of Hosts and Moses to work 6 days and rest and reflect on the seventh day. I'm tackling a situation today dealing with the true understanding of the Tanakh. My reason being is that so many Hebrews are awakening to who they are, but they continue to reason like Gentiles and Christians. Hebrews, the Old Testament, Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees, and the Apocrypha is for Hebrews, and the Greek New Testament is for the Gentiles and the Christians. You have to realize that and begin to separate from a Gentile mentality. The Lord of Hosts is the El, the strong one that rules over Israel, and Jesus the Christ, and Yahushua is the idol of the Christians. Okay? And so with that understanding, I want to go into my lesson, which is I'm jumping off of a Wednesday's lesson, which was part one, which is a true Hebrew understanding. And my topic today is a true Hebrew understanding, part two. Okay, and what I'm dealing with is Genesis 38 verses 1 through 12. It's the story of Judah and Tamar and his three sons, Onan, and Shelah. So I'm gonna read that first, and then I'm gonna go into it, break it down, because I know so many people that don't have a proper understanding of this, because it's gonna refer back to our situation and a whole lot of other stuff. So that's 38, Genesis 38. Like I said, I got a little fire in me today, so you're not excuse me. Says 38, 1 through 12. It says, and it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned in unto a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there the daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shula, and took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bore a son, and called his name And she conceived again and bore a son, and called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bore a son, and called his name Shelah. And she was at Shizib when she bore him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it out on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, lest peradventure he die also, and his brethren did, and Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted, and went up to his sheep shearing to Timnah, he and his friend Hira the Adulamite. So before I get started, I want to shine light on this, because I hadn't seen it till last night. I saw this, so we know we go back to Jacob had 12 sons, but a lot of people don't know that Jacob also had a daughter, Tamar, the one a daughter. And then we look at David's lineage. David had a daughter. And then one of David's sons defiled his sister. right? So it's the daughter there. A lot of people, anybody that know about the story, know the 3 sons right here that Canaan had, that Judah had for the Canaanite woman. But look at verse 12. I had been reading over there. 12 says, and in the process of time, the daughter of Shula. Who is Shula? Go back to verse 2. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shula. And he took her and went in to her. That's his wife. But it says right here 12, and in the process of time, the daughter of Shula died. So the boys had a sister, and she died. That's why Judah is in dismay. So to comfort himself, he went up to his other place where his sheep shears at, his winter house, and took his father-in-law with him. They went up there to comfort himself because his daughter had died. So anyway, to get into the lesson, it says that these boys were wicked. First one, we see the Most High killing these boys. He killing them. He killed out both of them, the 2 oldest ones, and then the youngest boy. They dealing with the same woman because in the Hebrew culture, you have to have, if you have a brother and have a wife, and the brother died before you have a son or seed, then the next brother in line have to take up, have to go into that woman, which means to marry her, and then he has to take up a seed for his brother. And so Onan, which was Er's brother, he didn't want to do that. He didn't care about his brother. He wanted his own seed. So to prevent bringing up a seed for his brother, he pulled out when it was time to ejaculate. He pulled out on the ground, and so the Most High killed him. So anyway, so these boys wicked. And so my point is, why is they wicked? No, nobody don't ask you that. I mean, they read that, but they're not looking at the mechanics of that. So why these boys wicked? Well, let's go back and look at it. It says, go to Genesis 24. Genesis 24 verses 1 through 4. And see what the Most High told Abraham. He says, 24 and 1 through 4 says, and Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my sons of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell, but thou shalt go unto my country and to my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. And the servant said unto him, peradventure the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land, must I need bring thy sons again unto the land from whence thou comest. So we see right here, Abraham tells his servant to swear to him that he's not going to get a woman from the Canaanite, and that he's going to get a woman from his own lineage for his son. But I want to shine light on verse 2. I over and over again, I keep on expounding on the fact that Most High got an order that's in heaven. And you have to see that order both in heaven and on the earth. So Joseph went to Egypt. And when Joseph was there, we know that Jacob loved Joseph. Then he gave him that coat of many colors. Well, the Most High loved Jacob. And what Jacob loved, the Most High loved. So that's why Joseph getting all these blessings. So, being that the Most High, the creator of all things, loved Joseph, why would he not make him Pharaoh? Why would he bring him to second in command instead of making him the Pharaoh? Because the person that's doing all this is second in command. The Lord of hosts, Michael the Archangel, which is the first one created, he's the one doing this. So he brought Joseph to a point ruling. When you rule in a place, you second in command. The king, and he ain't doing nothing. He on the throne. But the man, the mover and the shaker, is the second in command, the Lord of hosts. And I continue to give you the examples with Nebuchadnezzar and Nebuzaradan. Nebuzaradan has Nebuchadnezzar's name in him. And then when Nebuchadnezzar came to Babylon, he didn't destroy the Israel or Jerusalem or the temple. He set up in Lachish, a city outside of Jerusalem, and Nebuzaradan, his Lord of hosts, went into Jerusalem. And he the one did all the damage. So we see right here in verse 2, keeping with the same mindset, verse 2 says, Abraham said unto the eldest servant, right? So his eldest servant of his house that ruled over all that he had. So Abraham, he's just there. He the man with the figurehead. The servant, this servant right here is the one that's doing all the work and just ruling over his house. And so he pulled that servant in and told him, put your hand on my thigh and swear to me by the Most High that you're gonna do this. Abraham obeying his Lord, and he's getting his servant to obey him. He's a servant Lord, and he's telling him, go and make sure you get a wife from my kindred. Don't get no Canaanite woman. So we see right here, the Most High already told him that you can't deal with the Canaanite women. So let's go a little further into the situation. Okay. Look at Deuteronomy 20. Deuteronomy chapter 20 says, I'm reading 13 through 20. Says, and when the Lord thy God have delivered it into thine hands, this Israelites, they came out of Egypt, they got the commandments and all that, now they go into the land of Canaan. And when the Lord thy God have delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male, therefore, thereof with the edge of the sword, but the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoils of thy enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Thus shalt thou do unto all these cities, which are very far from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations, but the cities of these people, which the Lord God doth give thee for inheritance. So these nations right here, I'm from the name he gave them to Israel for inheritance. Thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth, but thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely, here we go, the Hittite, the Amorite, the Canaanite. That's what did. Took a woman from the Canaanite. Judah took a woman from the Canaanite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusites, and the Lord thy God have commanded thee, that they teach you not to do after any abominations which they have done unto their God. So shall ye sin against the Lord their God. So we see these people got a God they dealing with, right? And then they have a system that they have in place where they teach you how to deal with their God. And he said, this is why he don't want you to deal with them. 19, and when thou shalt besiege a city a long time in making war against it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by the forcing of the axe against them, for thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut down for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them into siege. Only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for meat, thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until thou be subdued. So we see now why the Most High commanded them not to deal with these people because of their attitude and their characteristics. And so you ask the question, what characteristics? How you get these characteristics? So let's look at it. So Deuteronomy chapter 7. Deuteronomy chapter 7 says what we have to wrap our mind around, like I was saying earlier in the introduction, is that the New Testament was concocted by the Esau and the Greeks and the Gentiles. It's for them. JC is their God. Some of the Hebrew Israelites that made him Yahushua, but he's a Greek God. He's come from Greek thought at the Council of Nicaea, so it's their God. So what we're dealing with is DNA. What the Most High is dealing with is DNA. What Abraham told his servant, go to your kindred. Told his servant, go to my kindred and my wife's kindred and find me a daughter, find my son a wife, and bring her back here. It's imperative that you do that because the DNA from these other people is wicked. So let's look at it. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Verse 1 and 4 says, back to what he did in Genesis with the man whom he formed on the 8th day. He said, it tells you the man whom he formed, he put him in a garden. Separated him from the other man he made on the 6th day. He separated this man and put him in a garden. So right here we see again, the Most High changed not. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whither thou goest to possess it, and has cast out many nations before thee. We go to nations again, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater than and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver thee before thee, thou shalt smite them, and utterly destroy them, that thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. How you get a marriage is you go into the woman. That's how you marry her. You don't go to the courthouse. That's thinking like a Gentile when you go to the courthouse. But when you're thinking like a Hebrew, you go into the woman. That's how you marry. And if you're not in a position to take care of her, then you don't go into her. So thy daughter thou shalt not give unto to his sons, nor his daughters shalt thou take unto thy sons. That's DNA. That's DNA all the way around the clock. Say, for they will turn away thy sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. Come on. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. I'm going to read it again. And, wrap this around your mind, the New Testament. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars. They got altars. They're like the Hebrews. Break down their images. They got images. And cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. So this is the dilemma what the Hebrews right there right today. They can't get rid of the idol. They can't get rid of the image. And they can't stop dealing with their understanding, which is the New Testament. So I'm going to go a little further. So what we see is the Lord, the host, despise the character and these people's character and their countenance, which is their DNA. He has a problem with it, and he don't want that DNA to cross over into his people in it. You don't want it to mix with his people. So what I want to do right here is I want to give shine light on some people, so you deal with these people with your eyes wide open. They counters. Once you see they counters, or you see somebody acting like these people right here, which I just gave you a breakdown on what they do. Once you see them acting like that, you can't act like you don't see that. You got to deal with it. So one of the examples is the main character in the New Testament is Paul. Well, Paul tells you they liars. The serpent came in the garden These people came from Japhet. They came from the serpent. Tubal came, right? So we see the Japhet. Let me go there right quick. Genesis say, chapter 5. Genesis chapter 4, verse. We start at verse 19. This is the descendants of Cain, and we know that Cain is not Noah is not Adam's son. Cain is the seed of the serpent, right? Serpent lay with Eve, and you got the Cain. That's why Cain is so wicked. Back to the DNA. Why is Cain not like Abel? The DNA. But the Most High is shining a light on all through the Tanakh. So verse 19 says, and Lamech took unto him 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, the name of the other was Zillah. And Ada bore Jabal, and he was the father of such as dwell in tent, and such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jabal. He was the father of all, such as handle the harp and the organ. And Zillah, she also bore Tubal Cain. That word Tubal means out of the lineage of. So it's out of the lineage of Cain. Tubal Cain means that. An instructor of artificial brass and iron, the sister of Tubal was Naamah. So when it says artificial brass and iron, how you make swords? How you make armor and mail? Right here. These people make it. These people, they warlike people. They wicked and they warlike. So I'm shining the light on this Tubal Cain, verse 22. So go to Genesis chapter 10 right quick. Says, I'm in chapter 10, verse 1, and it says, let me get it. It says, the descendants of the sons of Noah. These are the generations of the sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, Japheth, and unto them were born after the flood. Now, verse 2 is these sons of Japheth. The sons of Japheth: Gomer, Magog, Midian, Javan, Tubal. They go Tubal. So when you follow this, you're dealing with this word etymology. He's naming his son. You got a son over in Cain's lineage in Genesis chapter 4, named Tubal. Now you got a son right here in Japheth's lineage, the son of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Midian, Javan, Tubal. So this link you. And so, like I said, you can't get off the line and act like you ain't seen this. I'm showing it to you. It says Tubal, which means out of the lineage of Cain, and Meshach, Tyrus, the sons of Gomer, Ashkenazi, Rephi, Tamar, and the sons of Javan, Elisha. And now, the point I'm getting to, Paul. The author, the number one author of the New Testament, Paul, right? Paul of Tarsus, that's where he's from. They tell you that. So chapter 10 of Genesis, verse 4, the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarsus, Kitcham and Dedan. So we see Paul as a Gentile. That's why he's running to the Gentiles, trying to bring the Gentiles in because he's a Gentile. But he tell you in the Old Testament, the wicked scribe tell you in the New Testament that he's from the tribe of Benjamin. But he's Paul of Tarsus. Just like Alexander the Great is Alexander of Macedon. He's from Macedonia. You can't fumble with that. So anyway, that's just one person. So we see Paul is from Tarsus. He's a Gentile. He's from Cain's lineage. When you track the information down. So now we got Saul, right? So I want to expound on Saul's situation. Saul is trying to do right, but he continues to do what he want to do. He want to do what he want to do. He don't want to do what the Most High tell him to do. He want to do what he want to do. So let's look at that. When Cain came to make his offering, and what he tried to do, he tried to trick the Lord of Hosts was standing there. He tried to trick him and give him some subpar offering. But Lord of hosts said he didn't want his offering because of who he was. His DNA, he rejected his offering because of who he was. Well, we see these same characteristics on Saul. And then on top of that, like we know, these 7 nations that we keep naming, the Canaanites is one of them. That goes back to the story that we dealing with Judah and the Canaanite woman, that he head and shoulders. These people are giants. And we see Saul, the scripture tells you he's head and shoulders above all the rest of the Israelites. So that's a dead cat in the line. How? How did all the rest of the Israelites, regular-sized men, and here goes Saul, he head and shoulders above all of them? That's because he's not of their lineage. He's not of their kindred. He's from the sons of Belial, which is tied to these 7 nations, these people, these Canaanite people. That's tied to the fallen angels. So you can say, well, what you figure? Well, look at his calendar. Look at his calendar. What happened with Cain? Nothing he did. He didn't want to do. These giants, these people, these 7 nations. He tells you they don't want to deal with him. They won't listen to him. They won't submit to him. They won't hearken to his words. Saul ain't hearkening to his Most High word. So let's look at it. So now we in the last days, and we've been tricked and hoodwinked already in every direction, and so now we waking up and we Hebrew Israelites, but they didn't attach the Gentile book to our understanding. We trying to make a Gentile book fit with a Hebrew ideology. And so comparison and contrast. You got a Canaanite, a descendant of these 7 nations, trying to be a king over Israel. It don't fit. Simple as that. It don't fit. So let me give you another example. I found out recently that we as a people, we keep seeing that we are entrepreneurs. We business-like people. We see that in 2 Samuel with the people trying to people say at the gate trading with the Israelites. They trading with them so much till they trying to make them break the Shabbat and do business on the Shabbat. And so they had to run them off. So when we first got here in America, we had a business alliance. We had a business association, even though we was in slavery. We had a business alliance where the Europeans and the Esau, they understood that. And so every time that we would start prospering, they would come in and destroy it. So how did we get to the point now where we won't support each other and won't do this and won't do that? Well, once the Emancipation Proclamation was passed, and then we started being able to move around a little bit, we started going to their school. And we started getting their business sense, their ideology. And so you've been trained in their ideology, their understanding of business, and you come back trying to make it work in your culture. And it ain't working. It don't mix. That's what the Most High telling us. It ain't mixing. That's what our problem is. And the sooner we stop going to their schools, getting their understanding, their ideology, is when we're going to prosper. Simple as that. So, let me keep going. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you a definition of the Canaanites. The Canaanites were an adulterous people who did not serve God. They were perverse, and you get the understanding of that in Leviticus 18. Let me give you some examples of it in Leviticus 18. Make sure you get an understanding of this. Okay, Leviticus 18. I'm starting at verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God, after the doings of the land of Egypt. Wherein ye dwelt shall ye not do, after the doings of the land of Canaan. Whether I bring you shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. See, they got ordinances. We got ordinances too, right? But they got ordinances. wicked ordinances. It's like you got schools. They got wicked schools. We go and get a understanding, but not their understanding. We go get their understanding, try to bring it to ours. It don't work. That's our dilemma. So 4, ye shall do my judgment and keep my ordinances. See that? His ordinances. To walk therein, I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. So if a man do them, if he's a businessman, entrepreneur, and he keeps the Most High's law, statutes, and judgments, his entrepreneurship gonna prosper. But if you got their ordinances trying to apply them to your entrepreneurship, it ain't gonna work. Simple as that. 6, none of you shall approach to any that is near kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. The nakedness of thy father and the nakedness of thy mother shall thou not uncover. She is thy mother, thou shalt not uncover thy nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shall thou not uncover. It is the father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or the daughter of thy mother, whether she be gone at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness shall thou not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife, daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is the mother's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is thine aunt. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law. She is the son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. So, why is the Most High saying all this right here? Okay, well, you are disconnected from the understanding of why the Most High expounding on this, because they took it out. When you go to the book of Jubilees, you come to find out, I just showed you Cain's lineage. And in the book of Jubilees, it says that before the flood, Japhet. This is another reason why I can tell you with the utmost confidence that Japhet is not Noah's son. You know, the average person, they think I'm ludicrous, but he ain't none of his son. When you walk the dog and rightly divide these scriptures. So before the flood, Japhet, Cain's lineage, would go into a man's house and sleep with his wife in front of him, sleep with his daughter, and he'd do all these perverse things right here that the Most High is commanding Israel not to do in Leviticus. So now with that understanding and the light being shined on that, now let's go to the boat after the water receded. So was it Ham that slept with Noah's wife, or was it Japhet? It was Japhet. Japhet the one slept with Noah's wife. Then what happened? Japhet got Noah's wife pregnant. Wrap your ears around this now. And so Japhet slept with Noah's wife and got Canaan. That's why he's telling them, don't deal with the Canaanite women. Canaan is out of the lineage of Cain. Huh? And so now we got Judah, the firstborn he's supposed to be the head, the protector of the Jacob's children. Now we see right here, he didn't. Just go back to Genesis 38, because I'm rounding this up. So let's go back to Genesis 38, and Judah. Remember that Judah is Judah's the head. David came out of Judah. So Genesis 38. So Judah goes to sleep with this woman and get these boys, right? Well, if the Most High don't cut this off, these boys are gonna be this DNA, this wicked lineage, which is Canaanite lineage, gonna be the head over the Most High people. Now you got to take in mind him and his angels, they didn't watched over Adam all the way down to Isaac. And then Isaac had Jacob, the Israelite, the Hebrew Israelite. So if he hadn't cut this off, what Jacob had, if he hadn't cut this off, what Judah did, we had some seriously wicked people over us. So let's look at what the Most High did. I'm starting in Jude 38 and 13. And it was told Tamar, she's the Israelite woman. Remember what Abraham told his servant, go to your kindred. Go to my kindred and get a wife. Well, Tamar is Judah kindred. And it was told Tamar, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Tamar to shear his sheep. And she put her widow garment off from her and covered her with a veil and wrapped herself and sat in the open place, which is by the way of Timnah. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him for a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because she had covered her face. And he turned in unto her by the way, and said, go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, what wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid for a flock. And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, thy signet, and thy bracelet, and thy staff that is in thine hand, and give it her. And he gave it her, and came in unto her, and she was conceived by him. Well, this is what the Most High wanted all along. So, how do you marry a woman? When you go into her. So, see right here, this is what the Most High wanted all along. He doing one thing, and told, and the Most High done brought him. He done went into the woman. He done married her. She's an Israelite woman, and then now that's how we get a righteous lineage from Judah. The Most High had to flip the script on it. He had to turn it. And that's how we get Judah, the Judah that we know during the time of David and up until now. The Most High had to flip. He had to take over and flip it, because Judah had been married into this wicked lineage. Right? So, in closing, then we go to question and answers. I want to shine a light on something. Okay, we see that the Most High told the Israelites to go Deuteronomy 20. Let me read that right quick. Deuteronomy 20. This is very important. So I'm going to take the time out to go back and read it. It says, chapter 20, verse 13, he says, and when the Lord thy God hath delivered thee into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of a sword. But the women and the little ones and the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoils of thy enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very, very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of the basin, but the cities of these people which the Lord thy God do give thee for an inheritance. Thou shalt save alive nothing that thou breathest, but thou shalt utterly destroy. It's 20 and 17 of Deuteronomy. But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hivites, and the Amorites, the Canaanites, Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and the Lord thy God, as Lord thy God have commanded thee. So in closing, I want to seal this into your mind. So we know that El is strong one. El is an angel. This one been hidden from us in Scripture. So it's an El over Israel. We've come to the conclusion through rightly dividing the word and seeking through the Scriptures that it's Michael, the Lord of hosts. Well, these people right here got an angel over them, right? And so the Most High came in. When they came into the land of Canaan, the Most High called, they called enemies. He brought us into the land. The enemy was in our land. So he told them to destroy them. Well, what did Deuteronomy 28 tell us in these last days? That he take us out of the land and put us amongst our enemies. So what you think our enemies going to do? We're looking at it right now. They try to utterly destroy us. They're doing the exact same thing the Most High did with us. So they got an L over them. Now that we got the proper understanding, well, what he done told them, what we see them doing now, they trying to do the same thing. They coming up with all kind of plans and plots and schemes and trying to destroy us. They doing the exact same thing. Ain't nothing new under the sun. So, with that being said, does anybody have any questions for, do they want me to expound on something or whatever? Or they got a comment? Hello?
This is Jeanette.
Okay.
So from the teaching today, it's very, you've made it so clear today as to why it is so difficult for our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters to release that idol JC, because
right.
they have given us the book that jives with their type of thinking.
Right. And they God.
And that jives with their God. And being that we are, we are a people that is committed to spirituality, and we are committed to the service to the Lord, to the Most High. And we are committed to our spirituality and service to the Lord of hosts, who is over us. When they brought us here and they took away our God and they gave us the false teachings, the false books, the false ideologies, I mean, you really broke it down today. When they gave that to us and we took it, and our ancestors took it and began to teach it to us, and we teach it to our children, we became propagators of that which was diabolical.
Right.
From one generation to the next. Okay.
Right. So that's why it was adamant for them to, when the Most High kicked us out the land, we have a break in our understanding. We have a break in our culture. They don't.
Mhm.
Okay.
And one of the other things that you said that was significant, Jacob, I believe it was, Abraham made his servant promise him that
right.
he was going to go and find a wife for Isaac from among his people, because Abraham understood that DNA, that's if you mix the DNA, you can bring something into the lineage that's not supposed to be there.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. And so
right.
Just understanding that, because I used to even wonder what did Abraham mean when he said he told his servant to put his hand under his thigh? And I guess that was some type of gesture that the servant was saying, you can take this to the bank. I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, we got to look at this here. I mean, what else on this side? and then, where the covenant at? The covenant, he got circumcised.
Huh?
He was circumcised.
What else on Noah? What's else on the Noah's thigh? He got it. Now, what else? He got circumcised. Abraham, the covenant with the Israelites are on the male. It's on their private part. He circumcised him. So Abraham, first you gotta go back. When Jacob went to Laban's house, Leah and Rachel had what? Both of them had a handmaid.
Okay.
So here we go. We see Abraham got a male servant, and this eldest male servant that he got is over his whole household.
Right.
So the covenant with the Most High is on Abraham's loin. He's circumcised. His servants and every male in his household was circumcised. So he tell him, put your hand right here on my thigh and let me know that you're going to do what I say. near and dear to the covenant. If you can understand it. So then 7 goes and do what he tell him to do. The Most High was with him. We see everything came about just how he wanted. He found he went right to Rebecca. Rebecca came right to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So Abraham's eldest servant was Abraham's eldest servant was like unto Joseph in Egypt when Joseph was in second command. And the reason why you say that is because it's not necessarily the head man that actually does the work and deals with the people. It's that second in command.
Right. It's the one that's second in command over the household.
Mhm.
Right. So look at that. What happened when he got to Egypt? What happened to Joseph? He was over Potiphar's house.
Mhm.
He was second in command in Potiphar's house, and he ran Potiphar's house like a champ. Potiphar didn't believe when you read the story. Potiphar wasn't with what his wife was doing. But he had to go along with her. He had gone and sent Joseph to prison. But he had the reason why he got Joseph was Joseph County, and then he saw that his house just like when they took the ark, the Obed-Edom house. David he looked at it and saw Obed-Edom start prospering. He had an anointing on his house. David saw that. That's why he was trying to hurry up and get the ark out of there, because he wanted the ark to be in his house so he can have the anointing. So Potiphar saw what was going on in his house. Potiphar was anointed. His whole house was anointed because Joseph was there. He didn't want him to leave, but he going along with what his wife was doing. She's sitting there lusting after David. But Potiphar understood who David was. I mean, who Joseph was. And that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. Cause so you say, what you talking about? Well, he tells us. Like I said, when you go and get their understanding, you can't see what the Most High is saying. He said, he who have ears, let him hear, and he who have eyes, let him see. There ain't no metaphor, no simile. If you got a Negro that the Most High has sent unto you with the Spirit of the Most High on him, and he tells you something, you got ears to hear. Then you got eyes to see and look at his countenance to see if he the one. If he ain't, then you know where to go. There's not no metaphor or no simile. And so that applies to the day. And that's what Hebrew is like doing all the time. I mean, you said Most High sending somebody to you, and then he's unnaturally breaking down the scriptures for you, and he done did it over and over again. But you constantly keep on saying you waiting on the Lord. You waiting on this. Yeah. But you got the man, and he just said the man. He said, "Happy are the feet of him that bringeth glad tidings."
Hallelujah.
He said he coming to you, bringing you the scriptures, breaking it down. And there's no way on the sun. How do you know this? But you said he got a problem with it.
And then you went to Deuteronomy Deuteronomy 20, 13 through 20, and you broke down the character and the characteristics of a certain people, that if we see these characteristics in these people, then we know that those people are from the lineage of people that we're not supposed to mingle with. Okay. Right. Now I say that to say this. When we look at okay. As a Hebrew, finding out that I'm a Hebrew Israelite woman and that I do not fit into the doctrines, the ordinances, and the statutes of Christianity, I'm a firm believer now that Hebrew Israelite men and European women should not be mingling. Now, before I had this understanding, I just didn't like it, because it seemed like it was creating a shortage for the Hebrew Israelite woman. That was my shallow understanding. Okay. Right. But my deeper understanding from the spirituality of who I am and who that Hebrew Israelite man is, the way you explain this today is not about that the Europeans are non-melanated or whatever, but it goes deeper. They DNA. They do not think the way we do. They what's in their DNA does not jive with the Hebrew Israelite man's DNA. You understand me? So
right.
Those are the people. When I look at the characteristics that you gave us today, it says these people will not submit and obey the Most High, the Lord of hosts. They're not going to do it. Okay?
Right.
And so any people that can put a rope around a person's neck and bring their children and their families and their cousins to watch it, that's wicked.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And so we see that, you know, just like you say, look for the characteristics of what the Lord has laid out in this text here, Deuteronomy 13 through 20. He gives certain characteristics of these people. Okay?
Right.
And then you broke down you know, they try to sneak them into the lineage of the Hebrew Israelites, but when you see those names, Tubal, okay, that's a red flag. That's a red flag.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then
right.
And then go ahead.
Go ahead.
And then they are warlike people. Every time we turn around, the government is declaring war on somebody.
Right. That's how you identify them. So like I was saying, you have to go back to the root. Cain was the first wicked one. So you can't trace it back nowhere. You can't trace it back nowhere else. And so I'm showing you right in the scriptures that Japhet, he got a son called Tubal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Most High is talking about. So then you can understand why the Most High is saying what he's saying, when he's saying it, because of now you got the proper understanding. That's just like I showed you the Canaanites are idolatrous people that do not serve God, and they perverse. But so what? Who are the Israelites? They are blessed people. They come from Abraham. They are blessed people. So you can't mix the two.
Mm-hmm.
That's two different concepts and ideologies.
Right. Okay, two more things, then I'll be quiet. Okay, number one, you mentioned that as Hebrew Israelite people that we were a business-minded people. So could you say a little bit more about what was the evidence? What is some of the evidence that would indicate that we were a business-like people, or entrepreneurs, when we were brought here, but then they kind of snuffed that candle out. What could you say more about that?
Okay, well, Most High got to go back to Adam. It says Adam was what? It's on the 8th day. He formed this man, right? And then he said he need a man to till the ground. So Adam was a tiller of the ground, right? Mm-hmm. So that means anything Adam deal with is when you go back to the melanin, the God gene. That's what causes us to be dark, because we got that's the blessing that we got, where we get our gifts from. So the earth has melanin in it. So when you, like I was saying, you put the two together. When he did put anything in the ground, he can put a shoe in the ground. A tree gonna grow up and start yielding shoes. So when they was doing right. So let's go to the business today. I got an orchard, an orange orchard, and I got this orange orchard, and I got all these stores that need oranges, but the trees don't yield no oranges. Can I be an entrepreneur?
No.
Okay. So what the Most High told him, I'm gonna bring the former rain when you need the rain, when you put the seed in the ground. Then I'm gonna bring the latter rain to make the seed ripen and get ripe. And then it's gonna be 100-fold. When you observe these statutes and these laws and these judgments, I'm gonna do that. So it's gonna be 100-fold. So they got oranges, apples, whatever they can put in the ground. They all over the place. They kicking oranges, apples all over the place. So if you got so many oranges, apples that he tell them leave the corners of the orchard, leave that for the regular folks that just happen to walk by to let them get them.
Yeah.
Let them have them. Then you got all these other ones. You got so many of them. Then what you gonna do with them? You gonna sell them. You gonna be an entrepreneur. So you got all these other nations at the gate. They at the gate, posted up at the gate before daylight come to do business with the Israelites, because they got grape orchards for wine. They got what they call those things, olives. They got olive trees. They got apple trees. They got all the trees that was in the garden. They oranges and apples falling all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and do you know?
Go ahead.
Do you know? I remember as a little girl, up and down, our neighborhoods, up and down the railroad track near our neighborhoods, there were pear trees. There were plum trees. We had fig trees in our yard. We had grape vineyards. And do you know, I remember when the city came and started spraying those pear trees and those plum trees, and we used to have blackberries growing. You could walk down the side of the track and have your sack full of blackberries by the time you got to where you were going. And the city began to come into our neighborhoods and started spraying those trees and killed all those pear trees and plum trees. And now you got to go to the supermarket and get the ones they grow. Right.
And then it'd be just on the plums and the berries and the pear trees that were scattered around. Wasn't in nobody's yard. The whole neighborhood was feeding off of them same trees.
Yes, exactly.
So we, like I said, we the ones that been blinded. We couldn't see that that was happening, and so they come in unbeknownst to us because we blind and they looking at the fact that we ain't making no money because they got all the stuff in their neighborhood. Mm-hmm. We ain't. Mm-hmm. So another glaring example is what I keep on saying. People not understanding is that I keep on saying it over and over again. I don't know if it's registered or not, but look at the white girls' necks. When you get a chance on TV, look at the neck, man. That is not a human neck. And then go back to Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, and that 17th dynasty that was in Egypt. Them people they had necks like E.T. That's not human. And so then you talk about necking. When you want to talk about necking, put hickeys on somebody's neck. Well, we wasn't doing that, but they got enough neck for me to put a hickey on. Look how long their neck is. Come on. But nobody ain't paying no attention to it. Like I said, when you get a chance, the Most High said, he who have eyes, let him see. And who have ears, let him hear. So I'm telling you, look on the news. Another one. When you come to the melanin, sit down when you get a chance, get you some popcorn by the side of the road, and watch the cars pass by. Every other car is a retarded kid in the car looking out the damn window. Retarded white kid. Mm-hmm. Shit, come on, that's the melanin, the lack of melanin that he took from Cain. And so you say, what you talking about? We weren't doing that. We weren't having no Down syndrome kids, autism until what we did. What right here? What I'm telling you about today. We started mingling with them. We did what Judah did with the Canaanite woman. Mm-hmm. Our DNA got mingled over them. That's where all this comes from. So like I said, there's only one thing that can happen, and they say you can't. The Most High mind is way greater than ours. But if the Most High bring His knowledge, then how can His knowledge be greater than yours if He shine His light on you? So you say, what are you talking about? Well, look what I'm telling you. How many niggas told you to look at the white girl neck? You know what I'm saying? I just looked at it. It just one day I just saw it. I said, man, what the, But we don't see none of that. We going to on a day-to-day basis. So you understand that? Okay, you got a gold bar in your house. A gold bar. They said one gold bar is probably worth $250,000, something like that. So you're gonna take that gold bar and put it in a bucket of acid?
No.
So the same thing. He said, "You are holy people, holy unto himself." So you ain't gonna just go. You can't. You got a holy seed within you. You're not gonna just take that. So the Chinese can do that. The lowly Egyptian, huh? And the Indian, he can go and he can marry all and grab any kind of woman he wants. But the Hebrew Israelite and the Hebrew, he can't do that.
That's right. That's right.
He got laws, statutes, and judgments that bound him. That's what we doing. Like I said, when you go in and get their education and their knowledge, the Most High said, don't deal with their knowledge. That means it's a different knowledge than ours. So if you been consumed by their knowledge, then you want their women. And you want their understanding. Simple as that.
And now I'm gonna go here. I don't know if anybody else have any questions, but I'm gonna be quiet in a minute. Okay. You read. You shared with us. We have gone. We go to their schools. We get their education. We go to their business seminars. We get their understanding of business, and we try to come back and apply it, which their understanding of business is step on and kill and be treacherous to anyone anyone that will prevent you from being successful. That's their way of thinking. But we see every day Hebrew Israelites, won't even speak to their brothers and sisters because they have got the mindset that they're better than them because they think they have reached some economic status or some economic level. Okay, I want to say that. Here's the next thing I want to say. As Hebrew Israelite people, you read in Leviticus chapter 18 all about the nakedness of family members and the nakedness of cousins and aunts and uncles, and the Lord of hosts put those in there to make us aware and alert of what those, and I like to say it this way, those of the nations were partaking in that he did not want us to partake in. Now, I said all that to say this right here. All of this oral sex and all of this kind of stuff that Hebrew Israelites, men and women, have tampered into and walked on the other side on the wild side, that's the lower nature type of sexuality. That's what I believe. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't. But when I walk outside and I see a dog licking himself, then I don't think that's something that we should be doing. And I'm gonna just let you correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Right. It's like I said, it go back to what he told us, and then you got to look at the mechanics of it. I mean, the fluid. You can't mix fluids like that. So that's how that goes.
And then some people, and Leonard, if you could expound upon what does it mean when it says to the people that so-called married, when we get married in this Gentile sodomite way, okay, the giving of a ring, when you have explained today with clarity that marriage is consummated when, and this is the way I'm going to say, marriage is consummated when a Hebrew Israelite man go into a Hebrew Israelite woman. That's when the marriage is consummated. They don't need no ring. Matter of fact, a lot of things get messed up and frustrated when the Hebrew Israelite brother don't come with the big ring. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
But the whole Lord of the Rings thing should not even be a part of the Hebrew Israelite man and woman getting married. Is that correct?
Right. It's they back to what I'm talking about. It's their way of life, their way of thinking. So when you get married, you got to go back and look at the fact that they had us over here as slaves. So when that man married, he got potential kids, 12 or 13 kids in his loins. So you go to the courthouse, then you sign all them potential kids over, and your wife and yourself over to the government. You sign the paperwork. They ain't a marriage. The marriage, most I said, he said he brought the man to the woman, and then Adam consummated it right there. They became one flesh. And then he said, and the woman became his wife. So they wasn't on the ground, on the courthouse grounds. They did that. So yeah.
Right.
So let me stop this show. So I want the recording to go on before we finish.